If you feel stuck or trapped where you're at right now, and that can be where you live, what you do for a living, financially, in a relationship, it doesn't matter. Any situation that makes you feel stuck, you're in hanged man mode. And what that means is that you're going through a transition. You're not out of the previous situation and you're not in the new situation yet. So you need to just hang still. You just need to stay in hangman mode because that is what's best for you and your growth moving forward. You're moving into a new life, a new you, and you're about to make a very large shift. The longer you're in hangman mode, the bigger the shift is going to be, for the better. So it isn't anything to fear. Just have patience. Do things that you love. Find the pleasure in life and do that. Try to make this more about pleasurable things and doing what you love rather than being productive, because this is not a time for productivity. Unless it's to do with your growth and you're guided in a direction. This is about growing into the next phase of your life. And you probably can't see the next phase or that next situation that you need to move into. You don't see it because it's not in front of you yet, but it will be soon. And then everything that you've experienced up to this point will make sense. Where you're at right now, the way you're being guided forward may seem out there. And that's okay. Just keep following the guidance and moving forward as you're guided to do so, because this is moving you onto a path of least resistance. And it's going to keep you on that path while you go through this shift. Now, the same can hold true for others in your life. They may see what you're doing, how you're doing it, or how you're doing nothing. Whatever it is, it's probably going to seem very out there to them. And that's okay too. You don't need to worry about that. Let them think, feel, and believe what they do. And you just know that you are on the right path and you're moving forward. Knowing that part of the journey for you right now, part of that growth, is about learning to and get comfortable with letting go of that need to please others. Your only job right now is to remain open to receiving the guiding messages that are going to be coming through to you, and then follow them through. That's it. That's your main job. Not trying to please other people, not running around chasing that next new great job or new lovers, just hanging there. Just be. Allow things to be what they are, where they are, how they are, and trust that this is for your growth and for your highest good. And you will move forward in no time. Everything's going to make complete sense when you look back on it and you reflect. And because this is so off the charts different from almost everyone else and what they would be doing at this point in time, you may receive backlash from your friends, your family, your loved ones, the people around you, because this just does not seem to be the so-called norm. Because of the backlash, you may start to question your guidance and second guess what you've been doing and the direction that you're headed in. Trust. This is so important. When you're in hanged man mode, it's critical that you trust the guidance and you follow it and you do whatever it is that you're guided to do, because that is what's going to move you forward the quickest on the path of least resistance. And I didn't say no resistance, but your family members, your friends, your colleagues, the backlash that you might receive from them because of how you're moving through life right now, that's part of it. This is part of your growth, and it's teaching you to let go of the need to conform. It's about doing for you, doing what you love, having what you love around you, being with people that you love, moving forward in pleasure. The ego-driven society pushes us to be productive. So when we're in the hanged man mode, we're not being productive. We're being guided to just look to the pleasures in our life and just do what makes us happy rather than being productive. And that's why you stand out like a sore thumb, because it's not considered the so-called quote-unquote norm. But that's the ego-driven life. That's the situation that you're not in anymore. You're giving up living by the way of the ego. You're now moving into a space of living from your heart, living from your soul and being guided by your soul, because that's what's going to bring you and give you the very best life you could ever imagine if you keep following the guidance. And sometimes it is hard. Sometimes it makes us sacrifice something we really didn't want to sacrifice or we're not willing to. But if you make that sacrifice, it means that you're taking risk. And the universe always, always rewards risk. Never fear the risk if you're being guided in that direction. No matter how big or small it may be, just take the step in that direction and you will understand everything very shortly. We don't need to have a full-time job and 3 part-time jobs just to make ends meet. You just don't. If you follow the guidance, that's the whole point. It's going to take you from point A to point B a lot faster and a lot easier than if you're chasing after the almighty dollar by way of doing jobs and having positions in companies that don't make you happy. Getting up in the morning, hating having to go to work, that is not the way we're meant to live. We're meant to live by way of getting up in the morning, jumping up and going at whatever it is that we do because we love it so much. It's not like work, and the rewards are way bigger than working that job that we can't stand. So again, this is part of the hanged man. It's to pull you out of that and make you realize that even though you're down to your last dollar or whatever your situation is, it can turn around in the snap of a finger, and it'll seem like you're in a position that you've always wanted to be in overnight, but it hasn't been overnight. You've been doing the work. How many hangman modes have you been in that you can see looking back? And where did it take you when you came out of that? Someplace better and higher up, vibrating at a little bit higher level, knowing more than you knew before you went into that. And that's what it's all about. The best thing that you can do while you're trapped in this hanged man mode is to reflect. Reassess your situation. That is the productivity that's being asked of you. Know that the next situation you're waiting for will show up when the time is right. When we feel trapped, we tend to want to struggle, to push ourselves forward no matter what, even if we can't see where we're headed. But searching for it so that you can move forward quicker isn't going to get you there any faster. And in fact, it will slow you down. You are in this hangman mode for a reason. You didn't trap yourself. And you need to understand that you are being held back by your higher self. And like I keep saying, this is for your growth. Follow the guidance. Try to stay in the moment rather than moving forward into the future, because that hasn't happened yet. It's not supposed to. It's not ready to. It's being held away for a reason. Don't allow this to pull you under. Just try to get relaxed with where you're at and be okay with that. Because once you get comfortable there and you truly can sit in that space of feeling stuck, all of a sudden it's not going to feel like you're stuck. It's going to feel like a place you want to be because you're working towards things that you love. Doing, eating, being, situations that you really find pleasurable. And when you can get happy with being there no matter what's going on outside of you, that's when you'll be able to see that next situation that you're waiting for. Try to remember that one of the reasons you're in this situation that you're in is because it's helping you to manifest something that you've been asking for or dreaming of for a long time. This is the growth that's taking you toward those manifestations. Now, they might not show up as you expect them to show up. They might not look the way you wanted or hoped them to look. But what's going to show up is what's best for you in your forward movement on your path of least resistance. So try not to be too hung up in your expectations about the manifestation and how it gets to you. Being open and receptive to receiving a different outcome than what you expected it to be or what you had hoped for, this will allow everything to just fall into place and exactly the way it was divinely planned. And that allows the universe to bring you something even better than what you were asking for. If you're looking for one very specific outcome with specific details, that will take longer to get to you. But it might also be that it's not meant for you. If you're open to a different outcome, it doesn't matter, because what is meant for you and what's better for you or what's best for you will come through, because there will be very little resistance to a different outcome. When this next situation appears and becomes available to you, walk through with confidence, knowing that you're on the right path for this next part of your life. Know that you're going to enjoy it. Know that you've done the work, you've grown, and you are definitely ready.